Hello YouTube. If you're watching this, you are either in the market for or already own an FNS 40. Now this is a great pistol. There's a lot to love. There's a lot of features to it that remind me of a 1911. And it's kind of like if the SIG P226, a 1911, and a Glock had a baby. And you get this. So today we're going to do a basic field strip and an advanced disassembly for you. First off, we're going to do a safety check. Magazine's empty. Breech is clear. We're good to go. Alright, start by locking the slide to the rear. And then you take your takedown lever and rotate it clockwise to the down position. From here you can release your slide and make sure that the back of your slide is flush with the back of the rails that hold the slide. Once you have it there held, pull the trigger. That releases the striker and allows it to come apart. We can go ahead and set our frame aside and begin disassembly of the slide. First you take out your recoil rod and recoil spring. Sometimes it's kind of a pain in the ass. Alright, and then we take out our barrel. Boom. Basic field strip. 4 parts, not that hard. We'll go ahead and begin the advanced disassembly of the slide. What we're going to do here is disassemble the striker system and firing pin system. I'm using this 16th inch punch as kind of like a multi-tool here. You want to take your thin tipped object and go ahead and place it between the buffer and the back plate. Once you have it there, pull the buffer and spring towards the muzzle and slide the back plate up and out. Once you have it up and out, you can release the buffer and buffer spring. Now we're going to take out the striker. While making sure your finger is over this button so it doesn't launch out, pull the striker to the rear as far as it'll go. It'll stop about ½ inch from the end. Then our button comes up. Take it out, take its coupled spring, and the striker comes out. And then, inside there, don't forget, there's a little striker spring that reminds me of a pen spring. And now we have a fully disassembled slide. Now the striker disassembles by taking this pin here and pulling it to the forward position and just taking it out. And then on the inside, little tack looking thing. Go ahead and clean that however you want. I like to clean and lube all the moving parts. I like to use this M Pro 7 gun oil. This stuff works great in extreme conditions and it just works really well on small moving parts. So we'll go ahead and reassemble the slide. Take your striker first and take your pin looking thing here with the rounded side going in. Go ahead and tap it till you see it drop into place and then just tap it and it'll eventually spin around to where you can get that pin through the hole. Drop it in the hole, careful not to drop it out the other side, and then slide the whole thing to the rear into the channel. Now we take our striker spring, and I like to place it on the end here just so I don't have to fight it when placing it back into the slide. We go ahead and slide this back in here and then leave about 1/8 of an inch hanging out. Go ahead and take our little spring here, put it back in that hole, and then we want our button to go back in. And I like to remember skeletonized goes on the insides. Easy thing to remember. Don't like to rhyme, but I do it sometimes. Go ahead and put this back in here and press the button all the way and slide the striker forward. Once you have pushed it forward as far as it'll go, you can let off the button and it locks into place. Now it's time to replace the buffer spring and buffer. Go ahead and slide them back in there and then I like to take the buffer and push it down, and just kind of stick it in the channel there to hold it there. I get my back plate started in the channel, and then push it down and around, and click. And our striker system is reassembled. Now we can go ahead and take our barrel and slide it in and down and back, and our recoil spring and guide rod. You want to make sure that the rear of the guide rod here is fully seated into the channel on the barrel. If not, you will have lockage issues and just different problems when putting it back onto the frame. And you take your slide, line up your channels with the rails, slide it on, hold it back, and then you spin your takedown lever counterclockwise, let it go, and now we begin our safety check, or function check, I should say. I like to pull it back, hold the trigger, and our trigger resets. Safety is engaged, does not fire. Our weapon is fully functional again. Thanks for watching, YouTube. I'm Ken with KB's Tactical.